Hello there, let's talk about respiration. Okay, respiration then. What is it? Why do we do it? How does it change? First thing to say about respiration is it is not breathing. It is not breathing, people. Breathing is just getting oxygen into your lungs and CO2 out of your lungs. Respiration is what our bodies, or what living organisms, do with that oxygen. So where does respiration take place? It takes place in the mitochondria. In the mitochondria, in cells. So let's just put where there, so we know, if we look back at that, what it means. Where? Why does it take place? Because it releases energy. Okay, so who does it? All living organisms. And that includes plants. So where does it take place? Why does it take place? Who does it? Okay, there's two different types of respiration that exist that you need to know about. And the first one is aerobic. Aerobic respiration. And this is the type of respiration that you'll probably be most familiar with, that you've probably been taught throughout your journey of science through Key Stage 3. And the easiest way to describe aerobic respiration is through an equation. So what does the mitochondria need? What does a cell need to respire, and what is produced? So the gas it needs is oxygen, along with glucose. And if it has those two raw materials, it can produce, for the organism, for the cells, energy. But as a waste product, it will give off carbon dioxide. Now, at a basic level, you need to be able to recite that equation. You may have, in the examination, a bit missing, say the glucose wasn't there, and the examiner would ask, what else is needed for respiration? You'd have to identify it as glucose. So this is aerobic respiration: oxygen, glucose, energy, carbon dioxide. So how does our body get oxygen? It gets it through the lungs, and then it's transported by the blood. How does it get glucose? Well, we eat through digestion. And that is also transported by the blood. That is aerobic respiration. We get lots of energy using that method. Now then, let's have a look at the other type of respiration. And this is anaerobic, without oxygen. Now this is the type of respiration you're probably not so familiar with. So, glucose, just as it was in respiration, we haven't got oxygen this time, so from just glucose alone, we are able to produce energy, but as a byproduct, we also produce something called lactic acid. Now, lactic acid cramps up the muscles. It's not good. That's why you can't do high-intensity exercise for long periods of time, because lactic acid will prevent you from doing that through cramping. Now, energy, we also need to say there's not much released. So because we're not using oxygen, we have two consequences of that, negative consequences of that, And they are, we haven't got much energy being released compared to aerobic respiration, and also we've got this lactic acid that's cramping up our muscles. So we also need to add here, this is for high intensity exercise, such as sprinting. You can only sprint for so long, and your body will just give up. Whereas this aerobic respiration is low intensity, low medium intensity exercise. So we have the two there, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. You just need to be aware of obviously the two existing, but how they differ, especially in terms of exercise. So let's quickly look at exercise a little closer. And off this spider diagram up here, I'll try and squeeze it in there. Common question. Explain why heart rate goes up or breathing rate goes up when you exercise. You know from personal experience, if you run around more, your heart rate beats faster and you breathe more. So why is that happening? And that has got to be linked to these two things. Okay? So, why does breathing rate increase with exercise? So if I'm breathing more, I'm going to be getting more oxygen into my body. So I'm going to get an increase of oxygen. So how's that going to help me? If I get an increase in oxygen, then I can get more energy made or released. So increase in oxygen means an increase in respiration, which therefore means I've got an increase in energy I can release. So when I'm exercising, my heart rate, my breathing rate goes up, so I can get more oxygen, so I can do more respiration, so I can release more energy to meet with my demands of my muscles. And this usually takes place in the muscle cells that are exercising, of course. Now, very similar for heart rate. So let's go down here. Common question. Explain why heart rate increases with exercise. Why does heart rate increase with exercise? So heart rate increases because I'm pumping my blood around the body quicker. So if I'm pumping my blood around the body quicker, I can deliver more oxygen, more glucose to the muscles that are working, so energy can be released. So, got an increase in oxygen and glucose to the muscles. If I've got an increase in oxygen and glucose, again, I can respire more and I can release more energy. But it's also worth pointing that these waste products that are poisonous, wasn't on the screen there, so I apologise. So why does heart rate increase with exercise? Increase in oxygen and glucose to the muscles. I can increase my respiration rate, which means I can release more energy. But as I was saying, before I realised I wasn't on screen, that if I increase heart rate, I can got an increase in removal of waste products. So I can get rid of my carbon dioxide quicker if there's blood pumping around the body faster. I can get rid of my lactic acid. Okay, I think that is respiration in a nutshell. Just to quickly go through it once again. Where, why, and who does it? The two different types, aerobic versus anaerobic. Why does our body need to switch? Well, it needs to switch on the intensity of the exercise being done. So why does breathing rate increase with exercise? Increase oxygen, increase respiration. You can see it there, it's in your notes. And why does heart rate increase with exercise? Again, those listed. Right, now have a go at the exam questions on respiration, and I will show you a worked answer after you've had a go. Thank you.